All right, we are live, and the New York Mets Summer of Magic keeps on rolling after Labor Day. I'm going to tell you, boys, it didn't look good for a while there, but all's well that ends well. I think that's how it goes when Francisco Lindor is your shortstop. And everything is gravy. And again, we can relax and we can chill because we thought the Mets were going to get no hit in Canada on 9/11 and all the goddamn awfulness that comes with it. Luckily, it didn't happen. If you have to go, relax, chill out, get yourself your Coors Light. This episode is presented Coors Light. The perfect summer playlist may be elusive, but one thing is for sure, it gets better when it's enjoyed with a cold Coors Light. This entire playlist of Mets baseball this summer has been delightful as it is with Coors Light and a nice cold Coors Light with some summer music, your summer playlist. What's the, I was going to say, is the song just permanently OMG? Or you know what today is? I got sunshine on a cloudy day, because that's our boy Francisco. That's his song, and that is our vibes right now. So obviously, I listen to my drink my Coors Light, love it listening to my summer playlist and watching my Mets baseball. So amplify your chill this summer with Coors Light. Choose chill, choose Coors Light. Go to CoorsLight.com/believe to see how Coors Light can amplify your summer, and be sure to keep an eye out on Coors Light's social handles all summer long for more exciting announcements. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Hey, Kev, how we doing, baby?
First of all, it's 9/11. Never forget. Second of all, happy birthday to both mamas, Mama Clancy and Mama Clem. Both happy birthday today. And number 3, the New York Mets are magic. This team is different. This team is special, and it's new and it's unique. And Pabs just said it. He was like, I didn't have any doubt. And I was thinking in the 6th inning, I was like, we're going to be fine. Then it got to the 8th real quick, and I was like, shit, this really might happen. And in my head, I was thinking, if this was last week when everything was rolling, I would legitimately have been like, we are fine. We are okay. It's only 1-0. But I was like, I don't know. Things, might just be a bad week. And then as I sent that tweet, my man turned on that shit. Well, I want to know what the exit velocity on that had to be 500 miles per hour. And then once that happened, there was no doubt in my mind we were winning that game. That the Mets of old would either just get no hit or they would have tied it up, but then you lose in the 9th. And I had no fucking doubt that we were going to roll after that, and roll we did. You got to pay the troll toll. And if Alvarez is breaking out, watch out. It's and then Stanek comes in. I even got a little nervous that Diaz came in. He does it in one pitch. Oh my God, it's divine intervention. Man. I mean, that is the best win of the year, right? In my mind, that's it. That's the one.
In a year full of them, I mean, someone's like, is that the most memorable one? I'm like, there's so many just crazy moments like that. I'll go to the fucking baseball robot on the podcast and ask him, Phil, what's your opinion on that?
That's the win of the year.
Yeah.
Considering where we are in the season, what a no-hitter would have done. We've had to deal with the off day tomorrow on top of that, and the Philly would have been all gloomy. Man, we feel good. And I want to give a shout out to Carlos Mendoza, who before the game said, I feel confident our hitters are going to break out today. The first 8 innings, everyone's getting their kicks in.
Hey.
But he was right. 6 runs.
Sometimes it takes a few minutes or a few hours. Either way, as long as you get there, you're fine.
If you look at the box score, see, 6 runs, a couple hits. Seems like a normal win. What'd I miss?
I imagine that tweet that went out has a few replies and quotes to it that look, kind of bad. Speaking of which, people that, are a little negative, Phil just spent a near Mets no-hitter in the gambling cave with Frank the Tank. How was that experience, Phil? Everyone can watch the blow-by-blow on this week's Stool Scenes, it sounds like. But let's get the straight from the horse's mouth right now.
In the 3rd inning, he said, this is going to be a no-hitter. In the third inning.
And then he starts counting the outs on Twitter. And he's
like,
17 more to go, 16 more to go, 15 more to go. This will be the loss. He was saying it was going to be the worst loss of the year. This is going to be the end. Let me see. It's like literally his
whole feed. It's like out still no-hitter. And before the 9th inning happened, someone called. I was like, Frank, you have a pre-drafted tweet ready on your computer? You see 2 outs, still no hitter on your computer. What do we do?
He's sick. He's sick. I'm telling you, he'd rather He'd rather us lose in those spots. I'm looking at the Jake Diekman game. The Yankee series those were the other wins of the year. The Jake Diekman versus Aaron Judge was the win of the year prior to this. In terms of just like the game itself, I still might give it to Diekman, but this one, given the circumstances, because it's crazy to be like a game against the Blue Jays is your biggest game of the year, but almost no hit. About to feel like the tides are turning in a bad way. Like we were riding high and it feels like, we're going a little losing streak here. So I would say this is the win of the year, from no hitter to blowout. Lindor, once again, the king, even Pete getting the job done in some regard. Like if that was going to be, the Pete didn't come through in the clutch there, that was going to be a tough one. Cause he's been struggling. And Eddie Alvarez just wheels, man. Eddie Alvarez, the speed skater. Everybody contributing. Oh, and I'll tell you what, if Lindor had iced it on the bare hand slow roller, I would have gone berserk. And that would have maybe tipped the scales to MVP, because it would be like, look, he plays defense. Look, he plays defense. It would be the highlight they play every single time to try to say his defense is the difference maker. It's just a different team. We said it in 2022, and now it's a different type of different. Here's my theory. Here's my thought real quick. Think about this. Everyone's in a political mode right now, debate, election year. And I was thinking, what if the sports gods, who we know control all of this, and we are in the palm of their hand and they decide our fate. Mm-hmm. What if the sports gods are set up sort of like the Supreme Court? And if there's a certain majority, you're just fucked. And what if all these years, the sports gods, the sports Supreme Court has been like 4-3 Yankee fans and Mets haters or something like that. And so you're just fucked, because at the end of the day, when they cast their votes, they decide they're going to fuck the Mets. And then even up through halfway through the season. And then what happened if one of these like sports gods kicked the bucket? They died. And there's a new appointment. And now, because I'm trying to explain it. I'm like, the sports gods just decided to stop fucking us, and they decided to like give us all this amazing, not even just like we're not getting fucked, we're getting these like glorious wins. And I think it's because the sports god Supreme Court like flipped in the middle of May, and we've been never looking back since. So shout out to the sports gods. I hate you for the first 35 years of my life, but whatever you're doing now, the last 35 years of my life, whatever you're doing now, I thank you. It's been glorious.
What do they call is it like packing the box or packing the court or something? I don't even know what the fuck it means. But when they're trying to mess with the Supreme Court, like maybe Steve Cohen packed the court. However maybe. He did that. He bought gods. Yeah. Steve Cohen, if there's anything he could, when you become a billionaire, you can buy gods. I truly believe you can. And maybe he bought his gods.
He's actually like in contact with the sports gods, that they are like, they're like an actual thing up there in the sky. And Steve has the phone. He's like, listen, man, come on, do us a solid down here. It's just like we just flipped a switch, man. It's so crazy, and it just keeps on happening. It's really at the point where you believe it's gonna happen, and again, that's the scariest spot to be. But when it keeps coming up, everything keeps coming up with that apple. It's like, I don't know. By the way, the shirts are here. The shirts are out. They are fucking fire. It's everything you need. Grimace, the Rally Pimp, Seymour Wiener, OMG Performance, Hawk Tua, that OMG picture, and of course the MVP, Francisco Lindor. Get them on sale now. They are the official shirt of this season, the official shirt of the postseason push. And then once we're making a move in the postseason, this is going to be the playoff rally shirt right here. So get them at store.barstoolsports.com.
I'm telling you, man, like the team, and then like that shirt is like, just look, and we always have crazy weird stuff in Mets land. This is absurd even for the Mets. This amount of stuff that's been going on. This is like in Ghostbusters, where it's like, all right, there was one ghost in New York, then there was two, then now there's 100, and everything's going crazy. Fucking the Statue of Liberty starts walking in the sequel, like it's just wildness going on. And this is what has just happened. The team wins. There's freaking weird memes going on. The fans are going crazy. The picture of Grimace in the guy in the Grimace suit drinking in the middle of that rain delay in a game that was over at that point, and these savages are just staying out, was like the epitome of this team. And I saw Rico just blog the game on Barstool, and he said this might be one of my favorite teams ever. And like, I mean, obviously we still have a couple of weeks for God knows what could happen to us. But like, this team is making a case for top 5. I mean, for me personally, just right off the top of my head quickly, 99 and 2000 obviously were awesome runs. The 06 team has a special place. 15, 22. Those 5 right there, right?
Okay. I was gonna say that's like it though. So right, that's number 6. Yeah.
And for Phil, I mean, this has to be because Phil doesn't have those early.
Yeah, I don't have 99 or 2000. 06, I remember I was like still like in 4th grade. Like I was old enough to care.
Awesome for 96% of it, and then just that fucking killed us.
We pointed 2015. That was really only 2 good months if you really want to think about it. Yeah. Whereas this is like 4 months.
Candalita on the shirt. No, he's right there.
Yeah. He's there twice, I think.
Fuck, I get so. Yeah,
right there.
The All-Star game. And the shirts do.
I always size up. I always size up.
Yeah.
But if you get the 3X like me, the 3Xs are pretty good because they're the cool colors or whatever. So you'll be fine with 3X if you're a bigger boy. You should be fine, I should say.
I go XL just so I have a little bit of room. So there's just not, unfortunately, there's just not that many fun Mets seasons. And this is for sure. Well, I always say I don't find these to be fun. This one is more fun. I think this is more fun than 2022. 2022 was hard for me because it was like a war. This is kind of like, whatever happens, and then what happens is a lot of cool shit. So, and they've been so good for so long now that it's more like, like Lost in all this is another fucking gem from Anaya.
Yeah.
Like, we're only in that position because he goes, he went 8, right? So like, if those guys keep on pitching and we can stay clutch, sky's the fucking limit, baby. And you know what I love to think of? Because I know there's some out there that happened. I know that there was some Braves fans and maybe some D-backs and Padres checking too. But there was some Braves fans scoreboard watching, or they're on their phone and they're updating Gamecast. And it goes from like no hitter to like, oh fuck, they broke it up, it's tied, to like blinking the eyes, 6-0. Like, is this broken? Is this from last? What happened? Oh, I love to think of that. Somebody in Atlanta just getting crushed. And you won't admit it, but you're out there. You know what happened to you.
Oh, man. I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just going to say the Mets, so it's back 8. It was back 8 with 17 left to play, right? So the number that we're not trying to speak of, it did not line up. I thought it was going to line up.
Oh, okay.
But because it's flipped now. Because that's who we got next. So getting this win, then rolling into that series feels so much better.
You're saying what's this? What is it right now? It's 8 with 17 to play.
It was. We have 16 left now. So it was 8 with 17 left to play. Now we're 7.5.
Right. We'll see what so it could potentially be 7 with 16 to play.
Yes.
But 7 of those games against the Phils.
And that's how it happened last time. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say the number. I got yelled at last time I said the number on this podcast.
Let's just say, theoretically, in some Doctor Strange worlds, if we sweep, it would be 4 games with 13 to go. Is this the 4 game or the 3 game?
3 game.
The 3 games.
Okay. So,
and the Phillies still play tonight, so it could cut down to 7.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So 7 with 16 to play. If we sweep them, it's 4 with 13 to go. Just like, I don't know anything can happen, bro. Anything. We might be not even worried about the wild card when it all is said.
Gotta believe. As the Diamondbacks are just laying it on the Rangers.
Yeah.
Too, so that would not have been fun if we had lost that game. Getting no hit in Canada on 9/11 would have it's like the headlines right. The fact it didn't happen makes me feel like there is a baseball god thrown into the Supreme Court that you talked about, overruled it, and we're
How do we not always have a home game on 9/11? I
know that's crazy. It really is one of the best. I don't want to say best, but just one of the more memorable sports events ever since Piazza.
Yeah.
The hats are like great, but when you're in the fucking Rogers Center or whatever that is in Toronto, it just doesn't play right.
In New York sports history, it's one of the most iconic moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would even go as far as to say sports history, but certainly New York sports history. And like, it just doesn't make sense to, and not even in the country. Like,
insane.
America?
We had the 4th of July in Toronto like 6 years ago. That was a joke.
That was crazy. That is crazy. I remember that too.
Skylar Anderson says here, I don't know if this is legit. This is like the Kobe facts. On the anniversary of 9/11, the Mets sent 11 batters to the plate in the 9th inning. Is that true?
No.
That is true.
Could be.
Wait, no, we sent more than 9.
I was gonna say probably at
No,
11
in the 9th. 11.
Yeah, we did
11 in the 9th.
9th inning, 11 batters.
That is that's baseball, Susan. You know,
Baseball, Susan.
Hey, tip of the cap to everyone in 9/11. But I mean, like, this is the sort of magic where, like, if this was a home game, obviously things would be very, very different with just how the innings would have shaken out. But if something like this happened on 9/11 at home, this game would have been, the place would have fucking fell apart. So I'll take it no matter what. But man, if MLB had put us in the right place for the anniversary, it would have been a absolute scene. I did get a text from my mom. I was not, she doesn't always know if there's a day game or not. And I don't know. Most of the time I don't tell her because she just stresses out so much. She almost likes to find out. She'll be like, who's pitching tonight? And I'll be like, actually, the game's already over. And win or lose, she's like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about it. Like, I don't have to stress through the night. So I was not going to tell her. And then I was like, I wonder if mom's watching. And I get a text out of the blue. If we get no hit on my birthday, I'll kill myself.
People wonder how Kevin got the way he is. There's the message.
I mean, you wonder fucking how. It is literally cut and paste, carbon copy. And then she even said, I was like, I said something to her like, let's get this win or whatever. And she was like, I know that this would be an important win, but I just wanted to get rid of the no-hitter. Like, her goal was just to not get embarrassed. And I was right with her. But when it's 1-0 and you tie it up, it's like, all right, none of this matters now. It's now just back to winning this ball game. And boy, did they fucking win it, man.
I mean, I'm trying to this has to be the win of the year so far. And, again, hence the so far. Hopefully this is more to come. The Yankees won. The Winker won against Baltimore was good. And Kev, again, stacking the court. So we have all these wins. We have the memes on the shirt. The Chicago White Sox are about to break the fucking record that the Mets are known for the most losses ever. It's fucking happening.
Might be, you know what it is? You know how you don't get out of Jumanji until someone else gets in? Like, maybe we've just been inside Jumanji for the last 70 years. And we need to fucking, sorry, Chicago. Whoosh. We're just coming out like all dirty and smelly with our beards, and we're ready to fucking, oh man, maybe this is just a game of Jumanji.
Mr. Met is just a beard looking like Robin Williams fresh out of Jumanji.
Mr. Met would be so funny. Some guy trying to hunt his big head. Stampede's running around. There's those plants that could eat us. I mean, maybe this is just Jumanji and we're just passing the torch to the worst team ever. Sons of Uribe, unite. And thanks for the juju. Also, Black Cat, shout out to my girl Aria. Run. But yeah, listen, somebody just said it. Robert Bianco. If Lindor hits that home run at home in New York, 9/11, I'm actually fucking angry, man. I'm angry at Manfred. That legit is a all-time moment. That's right up there with Piazza. Like, obviously very different circumstances, but like a 9/11 home run for a team and maybe league MVP to break up a no-hitter and keep a win alive during a pennant race, a playoff chase. I mean, that's resume shit, man. That's legacy shit right there. Mm-hmm. And it still was great, but it's just in Canada, it just does not. I mean, he would have gotten a standing ovation for like 5 minutes. It would have been unbelievable. And MLB, man, they always try and then they fuck it all up.
That would have been like the Francisco Lindor chants as they're leaving the stadium. And then
Yeah.
that's when the social gets obnoxious, where it's like every Mets fan's posting on Ohtani tweets, fuck you, you're not the MVP, no defense. And they start getting, Mets fans are creative. They'll have some good lines there, you know?
I challenge Shohei Ohtani to go win the MVP because the Dodgers have 4 games versus the Braves this weekend.
Prove it
Go
to
ahead.
him.
Prove me to me you're the MVP. Go out there and hit 6 home runs versus the Braves.
Challenge him. There's only one way today would have been any better for our boy Phil. And the only way that could have been better is if this had happened today as well. We just had a shout out to Boy Meek. I mean, the Boy Meek is on a heater right now. Libby Dunn hitting the Barstool office. And I mean,
Did you go hover hand? Where is it? I can't see. What'd you do?
No comment. I did go hover hand.
I was telling
What did
myself.
you do? Where is that hand? Where'd it go?
Kevin, he's being a gentleman. I'm telling you, he took that hand and she was like a little far away and he brought her closer. That's what I'm telling you, my guy Meek did. He brought her in for the real thing.
Hey,
and I mean, look at the face. This is not the face of a hover hander. That is the face of a man, of a man's man right there.
That is a face that is filled with blood. You are about to turn tomato red. That is so funny, man.
She was awesome. There's TikToks we did with Jack Mac that we're gonna go out at some point. So be on the lookout for that.
Dude, that's
shout out
great.
Jack Mac for because she wanted to come here for Jack.
Hey, tip the cap to Jack Mac, the most underrated guy on the fucking internet. He deserves so much more credit than he gets. He's a fucking million follow TikTok that people turn to at every time there's big news. Shout out to Jack Mac. The fact that Libby Dunn is chasing him down is a little bit like we're in Bizarro world. Hey, it's the Fordham Pussy Posse. It's the same thing with Tommy. Sometimes Tommy, things happen to Tommy with just good things happen to Tommy with chicks, with Survivor, with business, and I'm just like, alarmingly stupid became that guy. Same thing with Jack Mac, turning it into his own little empire, now hanging out with Libby Dunn. Incredible. Wait, what was the last comment? I didn't see that.
I might have put that up by mistake. Did you put that up, Phil?
No, it kind of did have that up and back with the two-handed. It really did sound and feel like the Piazza home run.
That was his first extra base hit since the walk-off home run.
Oh my God!
August.
So, not to be a downer, but he doesn't have a double since July 12th, which someone brought up to me, and I thought that was insane.
But you know what? It's so weird. It's like he's so young and so good at a critical position that I'm just more inclined to give that guy some grace and be like,
no, we went to 2 years with James McCann. Just don't be him.
Yeah. It just feels like I know that he will be a good enough hitting catcher. Period. And I think maybe one of the best, but he'll be good enough, and so I'm not too concerned about it. You get a little bit more slack. But also, I just heard Bryce Harper hasn't hit a home run in a month either.
Since August 9th, he would have hit a home
330, but he hasn't hit a home run. Yeah.
He would have had one last night, but fan interference took it away. Which
you would know that, Phil. You sick bastard.
Flip. I'm telling you, man.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, and if you everything's heating up right now, you want to have a little extra on the line. If you're not a Mets fan, you just want to get some skin on the table or whatever, go on our friends DraftKings. Wild cards, division championships, playoff positioning is all on the line. Teams throughout baseball are hunting for October. Get in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. The regular season may be winding down, and DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Excuse me. It's super easy for the first time to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select a team, and place your bet. It's that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5, you get $250 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BELIEVE. That's code BELIEVE for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. And boys, I wanted to share this. I didn't let you guys know. We got another bunch of fun DraftKings fun facts from our friend Zach, who gave us them last time. He gave us some of the odds at some of the things that have happened at DraftKings the Mets. So since August 20th, the day before the Walker walk-off, The Mets World Series odds have gone from plus 8,000 to plus 2,800. The NL odds have gone from plus 3,500 to plus 1,800. The NL East odds have gone plus 4,500 to plus 3,000. And this was, I believe, as of yesterday or the day before, so things might have changed a little, obviously, since then. Mets odds to make the playoffs have gone from plus 380 to minus 165, which I like that minus. I like seeing that minus out there. Lindor MVP odds have moved from plus 2,800 to plus 500. The Mets have made their customers over 2 times more money than any other MLB team. The Mets, the team of the gamblers. Who would have thought we'd see that?
Crazy.
And only 2 players have made their customers more money than Lindor, and that is Mike Stanton, which is
in the whole league,
and Corbin Carroll. Yes.
Just like in general, people betting on Lindor to hit overs on all his
whatever kind of his stuff, I guess his props or
whatever. The money,
the people's champion. Yeah, the money maker.
Money. That's the real MVP. You want to talk about like defense? You want to talk about war? You want to talk about like true value? How about he makes you fucking money, fellas? That's the real MVP. By the way, riddle me this. I don't get this. Is this a tiebreaker thing? The playoff chances on ESPN have the Mets at 45.7% and the Braves at 68%, with the Mets ahead of them. The
Braves schedule after the Dodgers.
Give a difference, gee, like 20 difference. Fucking, I don't trust those because if they lose tonight, it'll drop like 20% right then and there. But that's a lot for your schedule because we know down the stretch, like. I don't think schedules matter as much as people like really say, because down the stretch is when it's all about just like your own performance, because you'll choke this shit away. Doesn't matter who you're playing. I don't know. I don't believe that there's that much of a difference that one team had 70% playoff chances.
After those 4 games versus the Dodgers, they got 3 at Cincinnati, which not a pushover. But then they get 3 at Miami, and Marlins are free wins, but it's not the Mets.
I guess so. I guess that's a Mets thing, but you never know with those pesky little motherfuckers. But yeah, you're right. They'll probably mail it in against Atlanta. I would love to think, by the way, of some of the. I'd like to think that there is either. I'd like to think there was a bunch of Mets fans up in the hotels. Spots of the game, watching and being like, oh man, we're about to get no hit, like whatever. And then that comeback happens and they're fucking on the Mets bed.
On the Mets bed tonight. Oh, did you see the people in the hotel with the OMG signs? They were
they were fucking.
Someone definitely had a post-game fuck. I never thought about a victory fuck in Toronto, but
I would have had a fuck mid-game, like the Lindor after the Lindor homer. Put him up against the glass. Let's go.
Put him up against the. You said you were gonna fuck yourself if Lindor had won it on that barehanded.
I'll barehanded too, man. You barehanded, I'll barehanded.
So that comes in day off tomorrow, much needed day off. And that's the other thing, Kev. So the Braves have all those, have the cupcakes, but then we have 7 against the Phillies as well, which definitely hurts our odds. And then they're like, oh yeah. And then 3 Mets in Atlanta. They're like, the odds makers like, I've seen this fucking movie before, but that's fine. We'll take it. Who gives a fuck?
Historically, last few years, we beat the shit out of the Phillies, right? 2022, we fucking
2022. Yes, we did. Yes, when we were 23, we lost
shit
that
out of
series.
us. Yeah,
they kicked the shit out of us. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we weren't a real team last year, so we don't count it.
They might have no hit us last year. I feel like I think there was bad stuff.
We got no hit a couple. I wasn't even going to be upset about a no hitter if it happened. It would have just been embarrassing, and historically for New York City would have been bad juju. But I don't know. What's the difference if you get 2 hit versus no hits? It's the same shit to me.
Having the off day after a no hitter though, you have to suck in more.
I was gonna say having the off day now,
it's great.
If we can get a Braves loss right now, that's beauty. Go enjoy it a little bit, fellas. Fuck on the Mets bed, no big deal. Ride into the Phillies and let's handle our business. So it's oh man, we are fire. I would love to see even looking at the podcast. We know. The podcast numbers to start the year versus now are drastically different. Like as a fan base, I console, the guys in WFAN are yelling about it. Certain people bailed, certain people didn't. But like overall, you can tell that the fan base just didn't consider this to be a year that we were going to really compete or it was going to be anything like this. And it just turned. Like even in 22, it was like everybody was still on board, but arguing and this and that. And I feel like there really was a, Gary Cohen saying it was rock bottom early on, and
5 games in,
a rock bottom moment. I think everybody was prepared for a really long season, and now we got to prepare for a long season because it might be a deep run into the fall.
Put that big purple guy's face up on the screen, Kev. Let me see it. That's where it all started. That big purple motherfucker. Oh, you beautiful man. Thank you, whatever you are.
There he is. Iglesias is just my guy. And shout out to Hawk Tua, who officially has like a top 5 podcast.
Of course.
Literally a top 10 podcast already. Yeah, Talk Tua is a great idea. Talk Tua is brilliant.
You ever do one of those things where it's like, we have to do it just because of the name? I remember Brendan Clancy. He's like, you guys got to do Snacking Off just because it's such a good name.
Yes.
Like, yeah, we're in. Like, we're just going to do that just because of the name, if nothing else.
Tua is right up there. Yeah. Man. What a fucking game.
And like you said, Kev, like, I've learned lessons. My buddy says like he has scars on his body, and he like if you feel it, he's like, all right, like don't hook up with a girl and jump out her window if her parents are home. Like that's there. He's like, don't wake up a Vietnam vet, and he had a scar from that. He had a bunch of scars, and he says everything teaches him a lesson. And like the schedule, it's like the schedule. I have that scar from 2020. That's probably the biggest scar from 22. It's like, don't just think because the schedule breaks your way that everything's going to go fine. It can fuck you so goddamn bad. Yep. And like, because like the Braves will fuck us. That scar is from like the 9th. I've had that one forever. Yeah. That's the one I'm like fucking Tyrion. It's across my face. I can't wake up in the morning without remembering that one. So all these different scars we're learning. But then like this team is also like a scar in a way where it's like, you know what? Like things can go right. It's like just because everyone, when we started this season, we said it all like every episode, the first like month of the podcast. It was the least excited any of us have ever been for the Mets. And we've seen plenty of dark shit. There's been plenty of stuff. There was reasons, but it was like there was just something about this team that just was there was nothing likable about last year and just rolled into this year with nothing new. And I don't know what the fuck had happened, but here we are. And it's the most magical year. I mean, magic-wise, 22 did have a lot of crazy, awesome shit, but that was talent.
It felt
too.
like it was just like we had a lot of great names, Hall of Fame pitchers. Even if they were hurt and it wasn't working out, like we came into it with like big names and big hope and high expectations, and this was not the case. And it's always better to like to me, it's like of course. God willing, knock on wood, shout out to the Supreme Court. It would be a season that I counsel them that they would make a deep run, like because that's how it's got to go. Like in the storyline, in the script of it all, that's where it's got to happen. Because think about it like this: if the Mets were to win it or go to the World Series in 2022, it would be like, yeah, KFC like. Thought they were good, knew they were good, and they were good. That doesn't play. What plays is people being like, you bailed on them, you were wrong, and it's like, yeah, I was fucking wrong, and let's go. Like that's the Angels in the outfield shit, where it's like the storyline that you need that. So maybe, and you can't fake those things. Like in my mind, it's like, oh, so why don't I just like console every year and try to like create that? You can't. It's got to be a real one, and it came from my heart, it came from my dumb brain, and now. It's all turned around to the point that even if they make the playoffs and don't do well, they get swept. I would still think this is such a successful season. Like turning that around and getting to the playoffs to me, that Phil's kid that we saw, that could be Phil's. Phil's baby from outside of City Field for all we know.
That's where the run started.
Yeah, that's right. Phil's got the fucking magic touch. It's his baby.
my doppelganger.
But I still think it would be a success to make the playoffs after all things considered. I hate to be a loser and be like, but if they, to me right now, it's just about getting in and the rest is house money.
Yeah, I mean, I asked you guys that a couple weeks ago, I think, about like if it's a successful season. I still think you got to make the playoffs, especially with like you're right in the fucking heat of it now. Like 19, they kind of had that run. It wasn't a successful season then either, but this, even if it's not a successful season, it did a lot. It just brought the fans, like it just healed last year, which was fucking misery from start to finish, basically.
Terrible.
So I even texted you guys. I said I'm about to do something reckless.
Yeah, are we doing it or what? Do you want to explain it or no?
So I'll explain it. I don't know if I'm doing it yet because I still have to see. So we got delayed earlier this year on JetBlue. So we got $400 in JetBlue money as like an apology. $200 of it is already expired. For some reason, we have $200 left that we can use, and it expires at midnight. So I've been looking around for places to go, even just like one-way tickets, and I'll just figure out how the fuck I'm going to get home. The thing is, I'm a dad with a wife and kids whose like lives rely on the school schedule. So I can't take any fun vacations. Everything's like $800 each way. So if I like want to plan something around Thanksgiving, what's it called? Like winter break, all those kind of things, I'm screwed. So I'm like, and I can't just like get up and leave because I get the kids on and sometimes off the bus or on the bus and then sometimes off the bus. So I kind of need to be here. So, but then I'm like, you know what? Let me just look at some other things. And I'm like, if I could maybe squeeze a day and I go away, I'm like, let me try to get some baseball stadiums crossed off the list. Because that's one thing I've always wanted to do. I'm looking at football stadiums. The schedules don't really line up with places I can go. And again, I'm not going to spend more than $200 if this all falls apart. So I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at the baseball map and like where all the baseball stadiums are. I'm like, I've never been to Atlanta. And it's kind of out there. I thought maybe Atlanta, then we do the Floridas one day. Me and my buddies and I who do the baseball trips together. But I'm like, it's kind of out there in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, maybe I'll go to Atlanta. I'm like, are there any home games that could line up? And the one fucking homestand that lines up is that 3-game Mets stand. And I don't even want to watch that game on TV.
I know. Let alone in person, let alone in Atlanta. Oh, my God.
I'm like, all right, well, if the Falcons are in town, I could maybe at least get a Falcons game. And if it's game one of the series, I fly home and I just look at my woods. And then it's like the Chiefs are in Atlanta. I'm like,
you get to see some
Patty
Hall
Mahomes.
of Fame, immortal football with some magical baseball.
One of my biggest regrets. I could have saw Payton. I could have saw Brady. I never saw either of them. I'm like, I could see like the next guy. So it's like $59 each way. It's so fucking cheap. So it's on the table now. I haven't done it yet. I have 5.5 hours aside. I texted you guys when we were being no-hit. It was the 6th inning. So the juju's out there. I almost feel like I have to do it at this point. But
yeah, it's kind of out there now, dude. You can't just be like, you remember all that stuff I said? I just decided it's not really the right time. It's like, you kind of got to do it.
But then I also don't want, I'm thinking the other way. If I go there, could be cursing them. I have a lot of things I have to work out as a Mets fan. You guys know how it is. You have to figure out you have to put yourself in the situation because we hold the keys to this season, not the 25 men who play baseball every day. It's us. Kevin St. Council is causing the Mets to win. Phil in the fucking Matrix and squeezing on Livy Dunn is giving us the good juju. And me flying to Atlanta could either save our season or ruin our season. That's the way we fucking think because we're all fucking twisted in the head. So I'm going to figure that out. I'll let everyone know what's going to happen. I don't even know if I can even go. I haven't really raced with the wife yet. So anyway, that's where we stand there. It's a reckless move, though. We can all agree it's a reckless. Right?
It's so reckless because it's so like you know what it is? It's like John Rich eating shit. Like no one's asking for it. No one was like, you know what, Clem, you better go to Atlanta for this series. Like no one's saying it. And you're like, you know what I think I need to do? Go to Atlanta for a road series in the middle of like the most tense playoff push we've had in a long time. You're a crazy man. As your sponsor, I should say no. As your co-host and friend, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Go for it. So that's where we stand there. I don't know where we go. So what we got? We got the Phillies coming up next. 3 games.
Now this is where it's like, I don't think this is going to happen, and knock on wood, and I don't want to put anything out but if like the Phillies fucking beat us up, it's like I want to win. Like I would love to win game 1 right off the rip. Like we'll see what happens the rest of the series. They're obviously a great team. If you lose, I would like to say you got to basically win like every series from here on out, I think, to keep up. But just get like 1 win, get it off your back. So there's nothing like truly disastrous that can happen with Philly where they can open up the lead to, like 11 games or whatever it may be. So that this first game would mean a lot to me. That would be a very big deal. Very nice.
They have Aaron Nola game 1, who had a shutout, 4-hit shutout against us the first time, but that's the May 14th Mets. Those are not the same Mets.
That's not the same
May
Mets.
30th Mets are the team I care about and more recent. So that's the only team that matters there.
And Saturday they have a bullpen game. We miss Wheeler because Wheeler pitches tonight.
Yeah, he pitches tonight.
Hell yeah, that's great. The Mets have a bullpen game?
No, the Phillies do.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think the
Phillies
Mets
had
have
a bullpen game.
Yeah,
Sunday
bullpen game on Sunday, which is the McGill game.
It could wait. Peterson could start on regular rest.
Good.
That's
Let's
what they're
keep it
deciding.
that way though, so McGill doesn't know.
Yes.
Be like, it's gonna be Peterson on rest. It's gonna be Peterson on short rest. Never mind, you're pitching today, and he's like, "Oh fuck it," and then he goes out and pitches a gem.
Maybe he gets in his own head when he's on like a rotation schedule, and he has like the
there
religious
for days,
mentality.
Like, oh my god, I'm not really a starter. I got 4 days to fuck. I can't believe this. When he's not, he's just like, oh, you want me to pitch? I'll pitch right now. Fuck it, let's go. You big doofy son of a bitch. I love you.
He's Frank the Tank from old school. It's like when his foot's to the fire, he just can recite all this shit and he blacks out. Like whatever has to be done.
I black out. I love
Big drip. And then the good thing is, I don't know why I thought all 7 of these games were in Philly, but 4 of them in New York, which is nice. It was not nice when at some point during that collapse in 07, you didn't want games at home because then the ballpark tightened up. When you're chasing, it's not the same vibes.
Mm-hmm.
People would have been fucking tight assholes today as you're getting no hit. But other than that, it's a little more loose. And Citi Field is fucking electric when things are going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Get out. Do we have what are our Barstool the ballparks left?
Next Saturday.
That's Philly, right?
Yeah. Next Saturday. Somehow it is Ranger Suarez already down on the schedule. I mean, this is ESPN. They do the probables way in advance. That's why I like it. But it could be Ranger Suarez. So that turns it you want to see the difference. If we could do one of those sped up fast motions of Barstool the ballpark from the first game of the season to that game, and just what the stadium looks like. I mean, we went in May to the Strawberry announcement, and it was fucking crickets everywhere. So as Kevin Church says, OMG, we're fucking here, boys. Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.